Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Cult Movie Tuesdays right here on Night Owl Video. Today we will be talking about this film starring Dan Stevens and Micah Monroe. And we'll be talking about production, cast, critical response, my thoughts on the film, where you can watch it, and all that jazz. So I hope you stick around. Yeah, so let's just jump right into it. So this is a mystery thriller movie from 2014. I just watched this for the first time, I guess, during the pandemic, and I just found this copy recently and was happy to add it to my collection. This was directed by Adam Wingard, who did a bunch of great movies. You're Next, which is one that I'm not sure if I reviewed that on my channel yet, but it's definitely a great sort of horror thriller from several years ago. He did the remake of The Blair Witch, which I might be in the minority, but I actually like that movie. I'm not saying it's better than the original, but I did actually enjoy that as a remake. And Adam Wingard also did Godzilla vs. King Kong, and currently in theaters, Godzilla vs. King Kong Part 2, The New Empire, or something like that. I'm actually going to go see it tonight, so kind of excited. I like big monster movies, and they're really awesome on the big screen. I did see the Godzilla vs. Kong one from 2021, I think it was, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. This is definitely lighter fare. This is more like Your Next kind of territory. Like I said, this movie stars Dan Stevens, who was also in A Walk Among the Tombstones, as well as King Kong vs. Godzilla: New Empire. So I haven't seen that yet, but apparently he's in that. This also stars Micah Monroe, who was in It Follows, and apparently they're making a sequel, They Follow. I know a lot of people love It Follows. I could not get into that movie, and I tried like several times and could not get through it, and then I forced myself to watch it all the way through, and I just don't get it. But I know Micah Monroe did a really good job in that film, and a lot of people praised her acting. So this film also stars Leland Orser, who was in Alien Resurrection, as well as Taken Part 1 through 3. If you remember Leland Orser in Alien, he was the guy that had like the chest burster in his thing, and he kept saying like, "What's inside me? What's inside me?" And I always think of him in that role, and I thought he was really. I know he wasn't supposed to be funny, but that scene always kind of cracks me up for some reason. The guest also stars Sheila Kelly, who was in Singles, as well as Nurse Betty. The synopsis for The Guest is: a string of mysterious deaths lead a teenager to become suspicious of a soldier, played by Dan Stevens, who showed up on their family's doorstep and claimed to be a friend of her dead brother. So yeah, this dude here shows up out of nowhere, claiming to be part of the platoon that his sister's brother was in, and he was killed and subsequently killed. And so he claims that he's here to deliver a message from the dead brother. But then he turns out to be, well, I mean, I don't want to spoil it for you, but like, he's got some surprises. Let's just leave it at that. The budget for The Guest was $5 million, and the box office was only $2.7 million. So I think this movie, and this is why I'm including it on Cult Movie Tuesdays, it kind of flew under the radar, I think. And I'm not sure why, because it's a really good movie. It's really thrilling. But it just kind of flew under the radar. Filming took place in New Mexico during the summer of 2013. Kim Calder and Jessica Calder served as producers, who also produced Your Next, which I also would highly recommend. I honestly can't remember if I reviewed that movie on my channel yet, but it is one of my more recent favorites, and I would recommend that. Principal photography took place in various locations in July 2013, including Moriarty, Edgewood, and Estancia, and continued till the end of August of 2013. Before filming began, Adam Wingard thought about the music first. He said, quote, "For this film, I was mostly inspired by electronic goth bands of the 80s, unquote," he said. The film score was composed by Steve Moore and includes music from artists such as Clan of Zymox and Survive. And honestly, I mean, I will tell you my thoughts, but I love the soundtrack to this movie. It was so good. After I watched it, I went to the record store to see if I could find the soundtrack. Unfortunately, could not, but when characters David and Anna are at a Halloween party. A guest can be seen wearing the fox mask worn by one of the home invaders in the previous film You're Next from 2011. The party guest is actually played by Steve Moore, who composed the score for the film. So there's a great scene at the end where there's a party and or no, I guess that's earlier in the film. But if you've seen You're Next, you'll recognize the mask because in You're Next, the home invaders wear these animal masks, and one of them is in the guest. The three masks from the movie Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, which was the jack-o'-lantern, the witch, and the skeleton, if you didn't know, can be seen projected on the wall in the climax of the film on several occasions. The official movie soundtrack does not does not contain two tracks that are clearly heard in the film. They are both by the German 1980s electronic band Deutsche Amerikanische Freundschaft. I always know them as DAF. The tracks were Du the Mussolini and Alla ist gut. I only know a couple songs by DAF. My friend Sasha definitely turned me on to DAF back in the 80s. But yeah, it was kind of cool to hear that music in the soundtrack because you just don't hear that music in soundtracks ever. And I thought it was really, really cool. So like almost like a shout out to people who like, cool like electronic industrial music from the 80s. But yeah, this film currently holds a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. Robert Abel of the Los Angeles Times described the film as a, quote, dirty, sexy, funny homage to the vice grip corkers that marked John Carpenter and James Cameron's indie heyday, and praised Stevens' killer personality, which brings the guest to life. And I couldn't agree more. My thoughts on this film: I love this movie. I've seen it twice now, and both times I just thoroughly enjoyed it. I think Dan Stevens plays an interesting character very well. I don't want to give away too much of this movie, but it's one of those ones you sort of like. It's so understated. The Guest, even the title of the movie, it's like here's a movie with a guy with a gun, but then it's like, for me, it was almost like Nobody. I watched this with no expectations, zero expectations, had no idea what the movie was about, and then was like totally floored. Or like Drive was another one where I really didn't know anything about the movie, sat down and watched it, just had my mind blown. This would actually be a cool double feature with Drive, I would say. Really good acting. Again, the soundtrack is so killer in this, like it's so good. Dan Stevens sort of plays like how do I say it? Very, I guess, and that maybe reminds me a bit of Drive. He's very like stoic, kind of like the guy in Drive. I forget his name all of a sudden, but Ryan Gosling. They're both very like quiet, stoic. They don't really say a lot, and then they're just like, when you least expect it, they're like ultra violent. And he's so charming in this movie. At the beginning, you're like, oh, this guy's so nice. He's coming to deliver this message from the dead brother of this family and a dead son of this family. And then, things get a little weird. And again, it's a hard movie to talk about without giving it away. And I don't want to ruin it for you, but it is very, very thrilling. Again, my highlight, definitely my highlight for this was the soundtrack. I don't know all the songs by Clan of Zymox or that other band. I recognize right away the DAF tracks, but then there's the incidental music, which is just like really good synth wave kind of music. I think that's what the kids call it. Real moody, real atmospheric, and I liked it. I guess because it was sort of subverted my expectations. I didn't know what this movie was going to be about, and then all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. Without giving it away. This is from the creators of Your Next. Somebody from Vanity Fair says it's big, it's bold, it's badass. So, I would highly recommend this if you like Drive, Your Next. Trying to think of other movies that would be like along these lines. Just a really, really good taut thriller. great acting and just really great mood, very very good tone. This was 2014, so that was kind of when all the, I don't know what they call, I guess it is like retro wave, but that like purples and pinks came back. And there's a really cool scene at the end where there's this like haunted house scene, and you know, some unexpected things happen. But again, it's the music and the way, you know what it actually reminds me of now that I think about it? Like, remember in Lost Highway when that Rammstein song came on, and it was like a very unexpected place for that song to come in, but it was like very quiet, and then that voice came in and it was like very jarring. You'll get the same kind of effect with this, although not as obviously as surreal. But yeah, great movie, great movie. Love this movie. This DVD is from 2015. The special features are deleted scenes, a Q&A with Dan Stevens, and feature commentary with director Adam Wingard and writer Simon Barrett. This film is rated 14 in Canada for violence, coarse language, and substance abuse. It has a runtime of 1 hour 41 minutes, so good runtime. This is a Region 1 DVD, and yeah, it's a pretty basic version, but probably seek out the Blu-ray over time. But yeah, for now, happy to have this in my collection. Speaking of that, you can currently watch this on Amazon Prime in Canada. As of the recording of this video, if you have a subscription to Amazon Prime. You can also watch it on Tubi, allegedly, and you can rent it on Google TV and YouTube. So you can watch it. If it's on, yeah, I think it's on Tubi as well. So Tubi, for those of you who don't know, that's a streaming service. But highly recommend The Guest. That's my thoughts on this film. What did you think of this movie? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Again, like John Wick, or like movies like that, it's a very simple story, but it's just straight to the point. And if you like those kind of movies with a lot of action, some pretty gruesome stuff in it, then this will be your jam. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below if you liked it or did not like it. Thanks for watching this video. If you like my review, give me the thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. I do a Cult Movie Tuesday review every Tuesday. I also do a Mainstream Monday review, which is a new series on my channel every Monday. I talk about sort of a more mainstream, blockbuster, kind of Hollywood fare, bigger actors, those kinds of movies. And then on Friday, I review horror movies on my Fright Friday series. And this week, I will be talking about Eli Roth's Thanksgiving, so be sure to tune in for that. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you at the video store or at the thrift store or just out and about somewhere. But until next time, take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video.